Game number 8, and we have got South Carolina taking on Virginia Tech. This one's in Atlanta. It is a neutral site game, and this one's interesting. It is the first meeting since 1991 for these two, and it is a Beamer game for sure. Everybody remembers Frank Beamer was the head coach for Virginia Tech for a long time. Well, his son, Shane Beamer, is the head coach at South Carolina. He is heading into, I believe, his 5th season. This is a massive, or maybe a 6th. We'll look here in a minute. I've got it on the sheet. South Carolina 4-0-2 in their last 6 against Virginia Tech. So they are used to winning this matchup. The numbers on this right now, you can get an 8 out there if you like Virginia Tech. If you like South Carolina, best you can do is 7.5. This thing has come down from 9.5 was the opener. Consensus right now is 7.5, though. Our total has gone up from 45.5 up to 50.5. There's a 49.5 and a 50 on the board if you like those, but our consensus is 50.5. And our money lines, plus 260 if you like the Hokies, minus 325 if you like South Carolina. Looking at some of the trends, Virginia Tech 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 openers. South Carolina 1-3 against the spread at neutrals, 2-2 against the spread in their last 4 openers. Virginia Tech 2-7 against the spread against the SEC since 2006. South Carolina 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 as a favorite. Virginia Tech 3-4 against the number as a dog in the last 2 seasons. Something to pay attention to here. Virginia Tech, their presumed starting running back, their top tailback, Terrion Stewart, foot injury. He was seen in a boot like 3-4 days ago in camp. We'll see exactly what that looks like, but all the reports are that he is likely to miss the opener. Now, this is a later opener because this one's Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. Curious, like Hawkins or Coney are going to get the bulk of the carries on this, so that is something to pay attention to. When you look at the roster talent, this is not even close. South Carolina number 16, Virginia Tech number 56. However, Virginia Tech does get Kyron Drones back at quarterback, so that's something to pay attention to. Adjusted returning production, South Carolina number 45, Virginia Tech number 64. South Carolina does have some experience coming back. Lenore Sellers is just a dude. He's an absolute dude, but you didn't see a lot of passing from him last year. Mike Shula is the new offensive coordinator after Dowell Loggins takes over the App State job. Philip Montgomery is the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech. That's something to pay attention to. Their offensive coordinator left to be the offensive line coach at Ohio State. If that tells you anything about the state of college football and the difference between the Power 2 conferences and the next 2 conferences. So, Virginia Tech just doesn't have a lot of money. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're going to get into today. Breaking down position by position, like one of the things that we've talked about on the show is that South Carolina probably not going to be as good on the defensive line as they were last year. They lost a bunch of dudes to the NFL. Their defense was stacked last year. Linebacker, certainly going to be a question mark for them. If you see on the screen, Virginia Tech number 3 at running back, well, that was with Terrion Stewart. Now, without him, what is that really going to look like? The linebackers are certainly going to be a question mark for South Carolina. We're not sure what to expect there. Defensive line, still going to be pretty good for South Carolina, especially in a matchup like this where you're going up against the number 65 offensive line for Virginia Tech. So number 28 against 65 there. Defensive line for Virginia Tech, number 21. That is a strength for them. The offensive line for South Carolina, number 27. Running back, number 16 for South Carolina against number 73 linebackers for Virginia Tech. And then the skill positions for South Carolina, number 7. That's wild. That's intense. Good tight ends, good wide receivers. Curious what Nick Harbor is going to look like now that he is focused on football as opposed to track and football. The skill positions for Virginia Tech, number 23 against the back 7 for South Carolina. Questions about the secondary, certainly. This is still an overwhelming spot for South Carolina. I like the Gamecocks here. Give me the Gamecocks minus 7.5. I know that my number has them by 7.1, but when you just break it down talent-wise and looking at coaching continuity, etc., I feel good about South Carolina. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Subscribe, leave a review or comment, follow @GaryWCE on X, and check out the web store,